It's a poison! That doesn't help the stress level! No, don't do it! Get a grip! This stupid video I just showed you! I almost stroked out and died over it! You're watching a different show! You donkey! You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State, it's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. It's just been a weird couple days in Notre Dame land. It's just been a weird couple days of Notre Dame. All the nostalgia, all of the old stories, all of the old stuff. And then in your mind and your heart, at some point, you have your, like, the Lou grieving thing with him specifically. And every Notre Dame fan has their own little way to do that and their little story, their little angle that hits them. But at some point, I can't be the only one who brings it all full circle and brings it all forward to what comes next. Telling you, all the ingredients are there for Notre Dame to make a major 30 for 30 in 26. Everything's there. Everything is there. So, like, that's where I'm at with it, is trying to pull this all forward in some way. Find the connective tissue, bring it all forward and into what 26 could be. And like I could see the 30 for 30 outline of all of this stuff, but it's got to wrap up the right way. The final chapter has to be the right one. And I know that's a lot of pressure, and I know the odds of Notre Dame winning a championship, the odds of any team winning a championship in any year are like small overall. I'm just saying, man, I'm sitting there writing articles the other day. I'm like, man, this is a 30 for 30 script waiting for the final chapter. So it's just been weird. It's been heartfelt. It's been nostalgic. As much as you knew, here's what got me. And I see a couple of you guys. I just want to know your guys, whatever. You have a little Lou story you want to go over, whatever. I just, that's what today's about. Like, we have, we got a half a damn year to worry about Wisconsin. If anybody just wants to talk about this beautiful old man, we could do that today. We got all the time in the world to worry about the spring game and Wisconsin. If anybody just wants to say a couple words about the old coach, feel free. That's what today's for. But it's all of the, okay, WPP, J Card, nicely done. It's just all the nostalgia. Dude, just this wave of like 80s and 90s Notre Dame football we've been on and in with this Lou thing. Just it's just a lot, man. And you know, we lost Era not that long ago, and it was a big deal. And I got a big poster in the basement of this stadium honoring Era and all that. It wasn't that long ago we lost Era. It's Lou. There's the recency, I think. The recency makes a big difference, and all the media stuff he did afterwards and all this stuff. Lou is hitting different. Lou's hitting different. And here's the thing. Before I got distracted, this is what I was going to say. This wasn't a surprise, right? It's not like you thought everything was fine. You'll see Lou at the Old Heroes golf thing with his pipe, and they put him on the green, and he hits a putt and drives around. And then you find out one day the guy passed away. It isn't that. we all knew that this was coming. The family made an announcement this was coming. You had time to process what it would be like in your mind. But when it happens, it's different. Like you knew it was coming, but once it's real, and once you get reminded of all the stories and the antics and the one-liners and the quotes and the motivational and the save Jimmy Johnson for me, wearing the shirt today for that, all of this, man, it's just been a heavy couple days. So I just want to take the day. Anybody that has any thoughts on Lou, whatever, that we'll do that. We'll get out of here, go on with your day. But I just wrote an article this morning. I got a couple Lou articles up. Thank you for the compliments about the Lou articles. Really appreciate that. And it was cathartic for me to write those Lou articles. Like, that was my little way to grieve and get my thoughts out, like different than a video. It was very cathartic to write those articles. Thank you for you guys that have seen them and appreciated them, and they hit you as well. But here's the other thing, and I got a video coming up about this in a couple days, maybe tomorrow. I forget the schedule, but I find it very interesting that Notre Dame and Miami and their chase to be back. Not you win one big game and the articles and the podcast say Miami's back, Notre Dame's back. Not that kind of back. Back to the top. Back to the top. I find it really interesting that for a lot of us, Lou in Miami, kind of a package deal. From when I'm growing up, that was the earliest thing. Jimmy Johnson and Lou, that whole thing. I find it really interesting that Notre Dame and Miami are both intertwined in this playoff chase to get back to the top. And they were last year, and they're on a collision course again this year. I just think that's interesting to me. That a lot of this Lou-ness for a lot of us is wrapped into that Miami thing. And it's come full circle where Notre Dame and Miami are both on that verge of being back. And they're both in each other's way 2 years in a row of really being back. I just keep every other minute, I find another connective tissue that brings this all back full circle. It's just really interesting to me. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to be productive with this. And there's every motivational thing in the world there with the playoff snub and wanting to prove everybody wrong that they did. And then you add this on top of it. It's all there. Freeman's reverence for Lou Holtz, it's all there. The last guy threw the letters Lou wrote him, encouraging him in the garbage. Never responded to the guy. The last guy that succeeded at this job was writing the previous coach letters supporting him, and he didn't have time to get back to him. This guy actually values history and values Lou. It's all there. Go on the field and make it happen. Bring it all full circle, damn it. It's time. It all lines up. Make it happen. One more thing I'm going to say. I'll do a couple chats and I'll bring you guys in, starting with Pat. I know he had some thoughts. Pat was texting me some really interesting stuff I was going to go over. I'm going to let him do it himself. That's even better than me trying to get into his brain. And I know he wouldn't want me watering down the thoughts in his brain with filtering them through my brain anyways. So we'll let him do his own thing. Mark May, I see Anders say a lot of people didn't like Mark May and all that stuff. Him and Lou were really close. They were friends. They stayed in touch after the college football final show thing ran its course on ESPN. Those guys, very, very close. Very, very close. Buy blue and gold tickets now or wait does not make any difference at all. It literally does not matter at all. I usually do it like the day before, and then my phone doesn't work. They don't load on my wallet. I got all these old man technical problems. Can I offer the digital stuff for people who are engineers and whatever else? For the rest of us, can you just mail me a ticket in the mail? Can you just mail me a ticket in the mail? The last 2 times I did this digital crap, I buy a ticket. It doesn't show up in my wallet. I call the digital wallet. I call. They don't know. Just give me a ticket. I got enough worries about Notre Dame playing without worrying that I got to be a software engineer to get in the damn game. Give me a physical ticket if I want one. Anyways, one more thing I wanted to say before we get into this. I love the way the Always Irish community is set up for this year. Follow me here. Follow me. We're doing a blue and gold tailgate. Before Lou passed away, the blue and gold tailgate was already going to be a big deal. The second we missed out on that playoff, people were telling me, I can't wait for blue and gold tailgate. People just wanted to be together. They were in pain together. They were frustrated together. They were grieving together, all this stuff. And no one understands it except other Notre Dame people. People wanted to be at that tailgate. Now Lou dies, and it adds another reason to want to get back to campus, honor that statue, go by the statue, do all the stuff, and honor Lou. So the blue and gold already has extra meaning. The Rice game, the next tailgate, should be, I don't want to say it because of Marshall and Northern Illinois. The Rice game should just be a throwaway game, check off a win in September. I hope we're past September stumbles. But that Rice game should have been check it off, whatever, not a lot of excitement. Now they're going to do a full Lou tribute for the first home game of this year that he's passed. So now the Rice game carries more weight and has a lot tied to it. And then the final tailgate's going to be with the Orange County Club against Miami. And that brings the Lou thing full circle in a whole nother way. So I am thrilled with the way our schedule is lining up for the Always Irish crowd. Blue and gold carries extra weight. Rice is going to be emotional. And Miami, I think Notre Dame and Miami are on a collision course for the second year in a row. So this is some big time heavy stuff coming. And I'm glad we're all going to be in the mix for all of it. Okay. So let me do a couple chats and then we'll bring you guys in. I want to hear what you guys have to say about Lou. Philly special. Losing Lou's hit me pretty hard. He's everything I think of when I was watching Notre Dame football as a kid. He's my inspiration and a true legend. That's a big thing to me. Lou was my introduction to Notre Dame ways of life. My first introduction to all this stuff is Lou Holtz version of Notre Dame. That's a big deal and a special relationship. One that my dad has with Era and my grandfather had with Frank. I just think that generational lineage of that first Notre Dame coach that you connect with, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. Nicky Dean loves to be heard and seen. He's going to be heard and seen at the blue and gold tailgate. Got to see so many games Lou coach. Most were on TV, but my favorite was in 90 when ND beat Miami in the Bend. Yep, Rocket Ismail with the kick return. I remember it. Nick, this is something Pat Cotter can address for you. I saw somebody say the admin forced Lou out 96 for Davey. I thought Lou said he was tired of all the pressure, or was that just the excuse they used? No way they thought Davey was better. I'm gonna reserve that and have Pat Cotter address that specifically. John's back today, so he didn't cause any issues at the daughter's school. That's a good sign. They do there's some grant in the state of Illinois to teach little kids music or something, which is awesome. Work with their hands, not on a dumb tablet, which I appreciate. So they have a spring concert and they all got little instruments and all the kindergartner classes, and they do spring songs. It was really nice. I'm glad I went. Sorry I missed the show, but I'm that's one of those things you don't want to miss. $10 holler from Ryan. Lou will be missed by everybody. We lost a great Notre Dame man, but he's in a better place for sure. God bless Lou and his family. What a wholesome Notre Dame message. V1 Rotate. Good to see you back, buddy. $20 holler. Rest in peace, Lou. At least you got to see one last USC butt whooping like that. Domer Soli, $20 holler. Lou will always and forever be one of my heroes. He's one of the purest representatives of what it means to be Notre Dame. I wrote about that as well. I wrote about, Mark, I've thought about that. Can you imagine John at Parent Career Day? Do they still do that? I always think of Ricky Bobby when his dad went in the classroom and he was smoking and talking about if you're not first, you're last and all this stuff. I want to know when career day is so I can mislead all the kids to tell them being a YouTuber is the career path for them. Who needs education when you got a basement and an internet? I was on my best behavior at that school event. I sit there quietly and mind my own business and blend in. I don't cause no problems. My Wednesdays are very confusing when not planning my day around the Always Irish live shows. I'm sorry, man. The kid comes first. You understand. You understand. Andrew, this is a good point. Going back to the last point. A part of Notre Dame fans' affinity for Lou, he just understood all things Notre Dame, the good and the bad. And I think that's important. Lou understood all that comes with that Notre Dame thing, the plus sides and the downsides. Lou was supremely aware, supremely aware. Notre Dame football still has never quite captured the same level of excitement Lou generated. I was reading that first ND FSU game in '93 at 23 million watching. That's insane. That's another one of those moments. There's going to be those YouTube videos are going to get a big bump in the algorithm this week. Going to get a bump in the algorithm this week. So I don't know, you guys. It's all weird. But it's like different. It's not like, oh, your grandma died and then we all just move on. I feel like there's like life after death in what comes next for this program, connected to Lou somehow. And I'm not trying to be like, hey, Marcus, if you don't win the title, you failed Lou's ghost. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the script is there for this 30 to be written with this final chapter, man. Good morning, Pat. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Johnny, good morning. To start with a little bit of levity, I can imagine you at a career day and you get up there and be like, I'm an influencer, a YouTube influencer. And all the dads in the back probably be like, who are like construction workers and shit, and like start snickering at you. But then if a mom got up there, especially an attractive mom, and she said she was an influencer, they'd all be Googling her trying to see what her OnlyFans page was.
Trad wife live it or something. That's that's what I'm gonna do. But it is funny. I
never thought about that. I never thought about what you would do. Like I've never gone to a career day with my kids, so I don't know if that stuff actually happens. But
I don't know if that's like an old school thing or not.
Yeah.
I had to do some like insurance, mortgage paperwork, BS. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And I met with the person and they were like, I don't understand what you do. Where do you get money from again? And I explained it and they were like, I have never had anybody come in here who says they're a YouTuber and actually makes it work. I'm like, well, that's what it is.
John, just say I'm a sugar daddy. My wife makes a lot of money.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. A lot of surgeries.
Pat,
what's going on, man? There's been a lot in the last 2 days in Notre Dame land. You texted me of all the emails and messages. And by the way, Commander Luke, you emailed me and I have your thoughts on my board as well to go over. If he's in here, Commander, I thought your email was pretty interesting. I have a point on that. But Pat, just a wild couple days in Notre Dame land. Just a lot of thoughts, man. Where are you at with all this? What do you want to get out on this?
Well, actually, the thing I'd like to address first before I go into Lou, because I have a lot to say about Lou. But Freeman did some rounds yesterday,
Yeah.
and the media market tried to jump on some of the things he said to make it seem like he said something he didn't say. And it was that, he's going to go to the NFL. That was the headlines that I saw. That maybe not this year or next year, but it's sometime down the road. And I know a lot of people in here already feel that's the case. But honestly, I don't know what people expect Marcus Freeman to say in that situation when someone asks him about the NFL. He's 40 years old. Do you expect like someone to expect? I'm not gonna ever. When someone like Dan Lanning says he's gonna stay at Oregon forever, I take that as just such a disingenuous comment because that guy has no idea what he's gonna do. And so when Marcus says, "I don't know what the future holds," of course I have interest in the NFL. I don't know what I'm going to do, but then he says what I believe to be, and all of this is true. Like these are true comments he says. And then when he says, "I have the absolute best job in America, and I love being here, and I love coaching these kids in this program," I believe that to be true. So uh,
Yeah.
we know one thing for Notre Dame coaches: they burn out.
Yeah.
They burn out. They burn
Yep.
out fast. I mean,
Yep.
the best of the best. Lou, Era, Frank, they burned out. 10, 11 years is usually their max.
Yep.
Now they were all well, I don't remember how old Frank was when he got the job, but they're
He
the
retired. No, he retired at 46.
yeah,
So
yeah,
pretty young.
even as a young man, without the pressures of today,
Yeah.
he burned out. So that's, I mean, look at what Marcus has gone through in the past year with the stuff with his kid and the wrestling coach and just the pressure of
Yep.
the NFL talk
And the
and
playoff
the
thing and the
playoff thing.
pushback from the bowl and the
Right,
wrestling thing
right,
and the
and
NFL rumors,
right.
all of it,
Yeah,
all of it.
exactly. And then I think the misplay from Notre Dame's administrative side on how they handled all of it with the press conference, all of it fell back on Marcus because at the end of the day, he's the face of the program. So, do I think Marcus Freeman is going to be at Notre Dame for 30 years? No, absolutely not. Do I think he's going to be here for 7, 8, 10 years? Yes, I do. And I think that interview is a demonstration of that. He's just being honest to us, and I think we can't expect anything less than honesty.
And
And
Pat, there
he's just
really isn't a good answer
there's not a good
everyone's
answer.
gonna like. Because if you're 40 and you're making declarations about the rest of your entire career,
Right,
people are gonna hold you to it. But if you don't totally close the door, the story the next day is Freeman's leaving as soon as possible. So
right, exactly. And
you
I think
can't win that discussion.
right, and I think for Freeman, he's going to be very selective on the job he takes.
Yeah.
Another thing that's important to him is he's got a young family, a
Yep.
very young family, and he's got a big family, and his wife lives it at Notre Dame. So he doesn't want to, moving kids around, especially when you're at the pinnacle. That's a hard decision to make. So he's not just going to do it on the whim, and I bet it's going to be something kind of local to 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 this area. He maybe like the Colts job opens up, or the Bears job might not open up for a while, but like that's what he's going to look at. He's not going to want to go to California or something. He's going to want to stay in the Midwest. And who in their right mind wants to go to the Bengals or the Browns? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I do. The one thing that I worry is the Steelers hired their coach as a stopgap until Freeman's
Yeah.
ready to leave Notre Dame. That was
Yeah.
the Mike McCarthy hire. It actually scared me more as a Notre Dame fan than if they went and repeated their cycle of
Now,
trying to hire a coach for a long time.
I will say this. It would hurt if Freeman left, but if he was going to go to the NFL, at least I trust the Steelers as an organization. They run things pretty much
Yeah,
the right way.
he'll find
They're a
success.
solid organization with solid ownership with a track record. At least I'll feel like he's going somewhere with a chance.
Yeah. So it is whatever happens with Marcus is going to happen, but like don't expect him to be here for 20 years, people. Like
Yeah.
we have, 8 years, I think is probably the max for this guy at Notre Dame.
Even our very, very best guys, this is a uniquely taxing and aging job.
Yeah.
It's one of one. It's like Yankees manager, man. It's one of one with unique
Right.
pressures. You got to get it while you got the guy.
Right.
So, Pat, do you want to get into some of your Lou stuff and go over what
Yeah.
you texted
Well,
me?
so let me talk about Lou first off, and kind of John. It's kind of echoes what you said on your post the day that they announced Lou died. Um, growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, I mean, I remember 93 was probably the first real year that I have solid Notre Dame memories. I remember after the Florida State game, my dad had me running around the block with the Notre Dame flag after they won that football game. And then the very next week I was praying to we had a cross, we were Catholic, obviously, so we had a cross in our house, and I was sitting there praying in front of the cross for Boston College to miss that kick. Those are my first real Notre Dame memories. So I
And your
went from
faith has been, and your Catholicism ended that day.
yeah, pretty much, pretty much. But I had the highs, the very high and the very low of Notre Dame fandom as my first memory.
Yep.
But Lou was the central part of that, because just as you said, where your grandpa would say, Lou, go kick Jimmy Johnson's ass or go kick Bobby Bowden's ass. My dad was the same way. It was, Lou dying, I got to meet Lou a couple times. I met him as a little kid. We caught him in '96. After the spring. I don't know if people remember the spring practice and the Blue Gold game in '96. The stadium was being worked on, and so they didn't do the spring practice or the Blue and Gold game in the stadium. They did it outside the stadium and the practice fields, and it was a cluster. And so my dad's like, let's just sit back and wait. And I was able to get Ron Powell's and Lou's autograph that day, because my dad said, we're going to sit back. They're going to come through here. And it was like, I got a little one-on-one with them. And like, Lou wouldn't remember it. I barely remember it considering my age, but like I got a Notre Dame football with both Lou and it's at my dad's house, but with Ron Powell's and Lou's autograph on it. And that's one of my most cherished things I have. And the reason I haven't taken it from my dad's house is because I have little kids, and it's a connection to my dad. But Lou was just like central to the foundation to me being a Notre Dame fan. And I remember when Lou announced his resignation from Notre Dame, it wasn't a retirement, it was a resignation. Being heartbroken. And I saw who was that? Was that Nick Dean that made that comment that you said was it? I don't remember, but I saw the comment. You said I was going to address it. I wasn't in the room. Obviously, I was a little kid then. I don't know anybody that was in the room. The people in charge of Notre Dame at that time were Monk Malloy, and Mike Wadsworth was the athletic director at Notre Dame. Notre Dame has this cyclical thing. When they find success, the administrative people feel like the football program is outshining the school itself, because the administrative people always want to say this is an academic institution first.
Frank went through it too.
Yep. And so whatever is causing the success on the football field, the administrative people will put pressure on it. And one of the big outliers to the success of Lou's time was Prop 48, and being able to get players into the program who didn't qualify academically for Notre Dame. Now, we got some wonderful football players, Chris Zorich, Tony Rice. Like there were guys that have, and who ended up getting their Notre Dame degree. I mean, Chris Zorich got a law degree from Notre Dame, ended up becoming successful people in life because of Prop 48, which is a thing that infuriates me. It gave guys chances that wouldn't get chances, who worked hard for it and earned it and succeeded because of it. And Notre Dame closed the doors on them. But that was one of the things that was one of the tactics Lou used to be one of the best recruiters in the country, to get players into Notre Dame that otherwise wouldn't have gotten there. And so when he started finding success, with that success came some problems. There was the steroid scandal. I've heard a lot about the steroid scandal over the last 2 days. Anyone who believes the steroid scandal was true is completely wrong. It was a guy that Lou cut from the team. Nobody came out and backed the story, and actually many players contradicted the story. Many people no longer associated with the program at the same time. And it was a story written by Rick Tellender. And if anyone knows him from Chicago media, the guy built his reputation, which is a reputation of a scoundrel, on swiping at Notre Dame with baseless accusations. So that was a completely fabricated story. But there was the Kim Dunbar situation where this girl was siphoning money from a booster program, taking players to Vegas. One of the players impregnated her. So there was a big scandal with that. And so the administration, rightfully so, thought that was a black eye. And Monk Malloy took control of the university, and Mike Wadsworth became the athletic director. And they removed Prop 48 as one of the tactics that Lou can use to recruit players. And so that's why you see a steady decline from 93 to 94, 95, 96 in the talent on the team. There were still great players, but it wasn't at the same, we weren't recruiting at the same level because it was the administration clamping down on what was making them successful because they didn't like the bad headlines. I've researched this before. Mike Wadsworth was not a fan of Lou Holtz. So his hiring was considered a thumb to the eye of Lou to get rid of Lou. And so I'm trying, like, my text message was very different than how I'm explaining this. I'm trying not to get angry. They did that man so wrong. They did him so wrong. And how did Lou respond to it? He continued for the next 40 years of his life, 35 years of his life, praising, loving, promoting the University of Notre Dame, giving millions of dollars back to the program. He's going to be, his wife is currently buried on that campus, and they already announced he is going to be buried on that campus. And so what Monk Malloy and Mike Wadsworth did to Lou Holtz is criminal. It's an embarrassment. And I think the university should apologize to the Holtz family on their behalf. I mean, they won't, but it was so wrong. And Lou handled it with so much grace and integrity, more grace and integrity than either one of those two men could ever muster. It's truly embarrassing what they did. And it made me mad reading all of the great comments that I was seeing, all the great YouTube videos. The Reese Davis chipping on 12 story. Did you see that one at Augusta? Oh my God. It's hysterical. I love it. He can't carry the pond at Rays Creek, so he chips it up. He lays up at a par 3. I just love it. It's such a Lou thing to do. Yeah. And it was he was such a wonderful man. He influenced so many people. He touched so many people's lives. I'm appreciative that I grew up in the area where he was a prominent figure in college football. And the college football final stuff, I watched it. I haven't watched college football finals since Lou left that.
Yeah.
It was just not the same show after they broke up, Lou, Mark May, and Reese Davis.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the impact that Lou Holtz was having on the younger generations who didn't know him as a coach. They just knew him as a commentator, and how entertaining he was. And like, I read so many comments from people who are 10, 15 years younger than I am. They said, "Oh, I remember Lou, when I was in high school, or, stuff, he was doing Dr. Lou on ESPN, and they're, and it was just, he was giving his motivational speeches and stuff." And I thought that, I was like, man, I didn't realize that his reach went so far. It's like Mike Ditka after he did the Kicking and Screaming movie. I didn't realize that played such a big part for Mike Ditka and his fandom and college football final with Lou Holtz's fandom.
Yeah. It was, I talked about that. You got to realize what a big deal it was that when everyone in America was done watching college football on a Saturday, you ended up with everyone tuning into Notre Dame's biggest advocate after it all ended. Like, I always love knowing we have a Notre Dame guy there that gets the last word.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And Pat, when you really think about it, they put a guy with an obvious lisp on the hottest show you could have Saturday night on ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, that alone it shows like just how unique all this was. That is, like, on paper, one of the last guys you want to be doing that show after all the games.
Yeah.
And it worked. And Mark May played into it, and Reese, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was, man, that was back before ESPN was garbage too, man.
Yeah. He was just such a figure. And I remember I watched this thing when he was coaching South Carolina. So they had that 0-12 season or 0-11 season, his first season in South Carolina. And then I think they came back to go like 8-5 or 9-4, something like that the next season. And they were filming one of his practices, and he was instructing the players he was coaching offensive linemen, and he was instructing them on how to put their helmets down on the ground. And he like it was so detailed. And then he would quiz them on it. Like 2 minutes later, he'd be like, "All right, go set your helmets down." And one guy got it wrong, everybody had to run a lap. And it was just so detailed and so they asked him, was why is it so important on how they put their helmets down? He goes, "Well, because that's easy. And if they can't do that right, how can I expect them to get the hard stuff right?" And it's just such a, you know, coaching, I've always looked at it, it's not hard if you can understand that level and but see, what is hard is getting to that level. Like, I think, not to do comparisons, but I think Brian Kelly is a good coach, but I don't think Brian Kelly ever got to that level. And I think Marcus Freeman does get to that level. And that's why I Marcus, more than any coach since Lou left, has reminded me of Lou.
Yeah.
He has that attention to detail. He has that understanding of what needs to happen. And he's just, he just works hard. And just like Lou did, he worked hard. So I'm and Marcus, just like Lou, is enthralled with the university and deeply, deeply embedded with the university. So I'm just very, I'm just, it's sad. It's sad that Lou's Lou. I really wanted him to see Marcus win one, because I think that would have meant a lot to Lou.
Yeah.
Because Marcus paid him his respect. He went and visited him a number of times. They did the one video where he visited him, but there was other interactions. So I think it, there was such a mutual respect between those two. So I really wanted Lou to see one with Marcus. But yeah, you're right. We talked about year 3, the storybook. I don't see any greater storybook than right now with Lou passing. It's if this isn't the year, I don't know if there will be a year.
Yeah. Yep. It's and that's where I'm at with the full circle of all this, and the connective tissue between kind of how Lou operated at Notre Dame and how Marcus is doing it in the modern era, but with some through lines of the tradition and values and understanding what Notre Dame's about at its core. I don't know, man. It's just, this is going to be it's going to be an interesting year with a different feel to it for a lot of reasons. And it's going to be a long summer to wait. But I don't know, man. It's a special person at a special place. He's touched a lot of people. It's really cool to hear all the stories of everybody's got a Lou story. All those players,
Everybody
all the announcers, all the writers, anybody who's interacted with the guy has a little story, and they're all unique.
Yeah,
It's just
I can't imagine
to see.
I can't imagine how big his service is going to be. There's so many people. The one thing I read was that the family knew it was going to be really soon, and so the last few weeks they've been letting a lot of people come and visit him one last time. So this was not a surprise to anyone who was close to the situation. Obviously, it was a surprise to us because they weren't public with any of it. But there was a lot of people that apparently got to go see him. Urban Meyer talked about it. Reese Davis talked about it. A lot of people came out and said they had the opportunity to go visit with Lou, and Lou could barely communicate. I think Reese Davis said that Lou could barely communicate, but he was able to. He acknowledged he was there and stuff. So, yeah, the world lost a really wonderful person. Take Notre Dame and football out of it. He was just a wonderful person, a man very dedicated to his faith. So, all right, that's it. I've talked a lot. I know you got other people that want to get on. I just, may God bless Lou Holtz and may he rest in peace.
Pat, really, really good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. Thanks for joining us on a kind of a weird feeling Friday, man. Thanks a lot, Pat.
Later, Johnny.
See you, buddy. Have a good one. Oh, that's good stuff. Somebody said, "Hey, Johnny, you're beefing back up." I got back into my workout routine, got the calories and the protein back up. I am trying to gain my weight back. I said before, I gained like 20 pounds over last summer. We started out 0-2. I lost 17 pounds right after we 0-2. And a few days later, I lost 17 pounds just of stress. So that I lost all that weight I tried all summer to gain, all that muscle. I stressed it out the second we started 0-2. It was unbelievable. Andrew, Lou was a master in football psychology. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. All right, let me get back on track here. Good stuff from that's good stuff from Pat. Tom, what's going on? 556 Dave's got some Lou story. He's coming up next. What's going on, Tom?
Well, hey, listen, I just wanted to share my Lou Holtz stories. And the first time I actually met him was the Navy Notre Dame game in Dublin in '96. And it was kind of funny because we were on a charter flight from Chicago, and we landed about the same time as did the Notre Dame plane. And we were coming through the concourse and clearing customs. And I just turned around, and my dad was with me and my uncle Pat, and says, "Hey, there's the coach." He turned around, he sat and talked to us for 5 minutes because we were in customs, right? So, it just, it was, to be in his presence was pretty cool. I mean, because he was just a ball of positivity. And then the next time I met him was at a sales conference in downtown Chicago. And of course I was sitting in the in the audience, and a bunch of the guys I was working with are screaming at Lou to come over and take a picture with me because I'm the world's greatest Notre Dame fan. I was like, "Oh God, don't embarrass me, please." But yeah, he was great. And the one thing that sticks out of all the great things was Holtz's first game against Michigan in '86. Coming off that terrible 85 season, and they should have won that game. Matter of fact, that bum call with a couple of minutes left, Joel Williams scored a touchdown, and they said his foot was out of bounds, and it wasn't. If there was replay in that, Notre Dame wins that game. But I remember driving out of Notre Dame and stopping at the gas station on the right before we got on the toll road, and I called my dad from a payphone. Yeah, we had payphones back then. And my dad picked up the phone, and he knew it was me for some reason. He said, "We're back, baby." I said, "Yes, we are." And that when he reignited, and people, if they weren't alive at that time, how low Notre Dame football was, especially coming off that ass beating Miami put on at the end of '85, and it's just the way he reignited Notre Dame was my great memories, and of course what Pat had mentioned, how unceremoniously he retired under that regime, that sticks in my mouth, but it sticks in my craw because he should have been treated a lot better. But you know what? Things mended, and he's a legend, and God rest his soul. I mean, it's just it's great. It was a great time to see him come in, especially at that time.
Yeah. Tom, let me ask you this.
But it wasn't the first time he was slighted. Remember what happened to him at Arkansas? So Frank Boyles, fired him unceremoniously and couldn't figure out why. And so the ups and downs, and he could have been real bitter, and he just remained positive.
Yeah. Tom, let me ask you, do you see any of this connective tissue between Lou and the way he operated and valued and cherished Notre Dame, and what you see from Marcus? Because to me, there's a lot of overlap there with this guy understands Notre Dame. He respects Notre Dame. He loves Notre Dame. It's not an act. It's not about my ego, my checkbook, my fame. Like to me, Marcus understands and respects Notre Dame in a similar way to Lou. Like I'm starting to build that bridge of making this all come full circle. Do you feel any of that? Or is that just me being emotional and I want this storybook thing to come full circle?
I think it's wishful thinking. They're two very different people. I'm sure, there's some shared traits there, but you got to remember, it's like comparing apples and oranges in a lot of ways, because that was Marcus's first coaching job, head coaching job. And, Holtz came in with all that experience. But yeah, I think as far as how he goes about preparing the team now and how he stays ethical. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't color outside the lines.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see it come full circle. It would be interesting to see it happen this year. And then I didn't realize, I've been so busy this week that I didn't realize all this recent talk last night about Marcus leaving again. And I was like, wow, can we just get to the season, please?
Yeah.
Can we squeeze one more season out of him?
Yeah. Yeah, let's worry about one thing at a damn time here.
Right, exactly. And there's unfinished business. And I'm really looking forward to it. I don't want to spoil it. I mean, we got a finite amount of time, obviously, because of his, I don't think they are going to leave him alone. I think there's always going to be that chatter. But we can't control that. But he's going to have to, with this talent that he's got and the incoming talent. Boy, I'll tell you, the table hasn't been set like this in a long time, since the Holtz era. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I'm glad, man, blue and gold's got a lot of juice now. The Rice game, they're going to honor Lou as the first home game since his passing. That game has juice now. And then the Miami game. So I'm excited for what the year's going to bring for our group getting out to all these events.
Oh God. Yeah. 100%. And, it's just, this is what is special about being a Notre Dame fan, that we're touched by that. So many schools don't have that opportunity.
Uh-oh. Tom doesn't have the opportunity to be on the air because he's gone. Tom, I love you, buddy. I don't know where you went. 5-5. I love you, Tom. Go take care of the city of Chicago. 556 Dave. Welcome.
Hey, John, I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you. I've promised before that I would share stories, and I will. If you can't hear me, just dump me. If I get too long-winded, dump me. It's just been a challenge with StreamYard, and I apologize that I haven't been on, but I see others have the problem too, where they'll glitch in and out. But bottom line, I'm first, Lou had two golf buddies in San Diego that were hardcore golf buddies. One of them was Dennis Nigro, who's passed, and then Ron Stout, who'd passed. Ron was an attorney that owned two Irish bars in San Diego, the Old Sod on Adams Avenue, and then just a block down the street was Rosie O'Grady's. They would go golfing, and then Ron would bring Lou back to Rosie's unannounced. When he was in the door, he'd let everybody know that, hey, we're going to lock the doors. Nobody's coming in. If you need to go now.
What happened? Dave,
coffee without me, huh?
Lost you. What's
You guys
up,
want to go get coffee, huh, without me, huh?
Luis? What's up, Luis?
Hell nah, bro. I was waiting to get my fucking car. I was like trying to hurry up, and then I had to wait for Chris.
Luis!
No, I was not. No, I was not. Don't even say.
Oh, God, this has gone off the rails despite my best efforts. Yeah, right when the story was getting good, Dave. I don't know what happened. StreamYard's working. Yo, Luis, what's up?
What's up, John? Real quick, man. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of heartbroken right now. Man, Lou Holtz to me and to my neighborhood and to my friends growing up meant everything to us, because this is back in the 90s, boss. If you remember the 90s in California, Fresno, and LA area, gang violence was a real thing. That was a real thing. You couldn't wear certain things. You couldn't wear certain colors because you'll get shot on sight. But growing up in that neighborhood, we thought there was nothing good out there in the world but that type of environment. That's all we saw on an everyday basis, except for one special moment every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. for us. And that was Notre Dame football. That was the one time that us kids can be actually kids. We could actually just watch a football game without worries, without anything like that. And then you saw the '92 Sugar Bowl against Florida and how like the team rallied. Then the Penn State game, and those games are very vivid to me because those what made me. That's what gravitated me to South Bend. That's what gravitated me to the University of Notre Dame. And then you have a coach like Lou Holtz that talk about Notre Dame like it was like the heaven on earth type of thing. And we were at that young age, we were like there's nothing good out there in the world. So like, what is he talking about? What is he saying? What college? What is college? You know? And it gave us the broader knowledge of essence of like there was good out there in the world, and that's what Lou Holtz meant to me. And then the '93 happened, '93 season happened against Florida State, and we were just yelling and screaming, excited. And the next day, I told you when I first time called your show, nobody broke my heart but Boston College. It wasn't a funeral that broke my heart; it was Boston College that broke my heart. And I saw how Lou Holtz went about his life about that game, and it made us see something different in the world. And honest to God, like in its own weird way, Lou Holtz shaped some of us that weren't even his players into the men that we are to know that there is good out there. And when you get good vibes and you get good when you do something good, like a good deed, it goes without being said, you know, God will reward you 10 times more. And I just feel like Lou Holtz had that in me, my best friend Jose, my best friend Bobby, Renee, Randy, like even some Asian buddies of mine that I can't say their names. It's too hard to say their names, but we believed in Notre Dame, and that's what Lou Holtz like. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was shedding tears because I told you he's the pappy of all pappies. He's the grandpappy of all pappies. He's my pappy, and I'm just heartbroken to be honest with you. But
Yeah, it's
onward to Notre Dame.
man, it's the impact, the stories. Everybody's got a Lou story. He touched so many people, players, media, reporters, fans. He's a special person. He's one of one. He's one of one.
Absolutely, and then like man, you don't have no idea. Like I want to just catch the next flight and try to be at the ceremony and to say your last goodbyes to him. You know what I mean? That's how much of a man he man. And then the Mark May show. Oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah.
I would not miss that at all. I would not miss that at all. I couldn't wait for the football games to be over because I wanted him to go at it with Mark May. And I just saw how much he represented in Notre Dame, and then like I told you, you know, he made us believe that there is good out there in the world, and made us not go the route that some of us or some people believe that some of us teenagers were going to go, and it was we found Notre Dame. You know, like I say that with all sincerity and everything. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest or I'm the biggest fan because we all love the University of Notre Dame because of coaches like Lou Holtz. And right now we have a coach like Lou Holtz. We have Coach Freeman. And I hope the ministry don't screw this up. And you saw what you did to Leahy. You see what you did to Lou. We're not doing this to Marcus and his family. You have people like yourself and your people you show advocating for him and making sure that this doesn't happen ever again. And when we have a coach like that, let's find a way how to respect him. Let's find a way how to keep him. Let's find a way how to make his life a lot easier. And as a community and as everything, onwards to Notre Dame. And I got to get going because I got these guys trying to get my butt chops real quick. And they already know I'm Boston Myers, boy. Go on it all day, every day.
Love you, Luis. Get back to work. OSHA's calling. Oh, man. Liam, what's going on? Mangoes, I see you. Liam, good morning, brother.
John, I just snuck out of a elementary school spelling bee. I'm in the janitor's closet right now. I had to call in and comment real quick. How are you?
You and Catfish, are you in the same closet that he calls from?
I'm not kidding. I snuck out of my daughter's elementary school spelling bee just to call you for a minute or two. I think she's got
Liam, God bless you, man. I appreciate it. I'll let you have the floor since you're time limited and you might get found out by the janitor. What's up?
Well, that has multiple meanings, I guess. Johnny, when you reflect on Lou Holtz and you even look back at the introductions on some of the games that he was coaching in, and I think I mentioned this on a while ago that seeing Lou pass, unfortunately, that's the privilege that we get as people for living long lives ourselves. And Lou passing isn't just necessarily a Notre Dame thing, but it makes you reflect on a time when life was much more simpler, before social media, before banks went electronic. And you realize that with Lou going, it reminds you of all the stuff that's changed over the past 30 or 40 years as well. And that these are things of the past. One thing that I really try and hold on to that Lou seemed to mention all the time was that, life is always going to give you obstacles, but we need reasons for success, not excuses for failure. Mm-hmm. And I think that as a teacher and also as a coach, that's something I try and drive daily. And then I think Lou was a legend. I read one of his books. It's a tremendous book. And I've been a huge fan of his since the mid 90s.
Yeah, it's man, when he talks about like everybody's here with a special purpose to do special things, and you got to find like what your thing is that you can contribute and be fulfilled and better the world and connect with other people. Like he's just a special guy, man. He's one of one, and it transcends football, but it's also so Notre Dame to have a guy like that following the lineage of an era and a Frank and a Rockney. Like these are some of the most special people, and they were Notre Dame's. It's just really cool.
Two things, and I'm going to let you go, John. One thing, he gives me hope that an ugly blind guy with thick glasses can be successful in life. And two, he says not everyone can be all-American, but everyone can skip their daughter's spelling bee and report live from the janitor's closet.
Liam,
Bye,
you're the
Johnny.
best. Get
Have
back in
day.
there. We'll talk next week when you're under less pressure.
Bye, Johnny.
See ya. Now that's dedication, man. Hiding in the closet. That is dedication. Renee and then Mangos. What's up, Renee?
Hey, buddy, can you hear me? Am I clear?
Do the thing where you make it more clear.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see. All right, let me shut this off real quick. Can you hear me now, Doc? Can you hear me now, buddy?
Yep, 100% better. Yep.
Hey, real quick, hey, because I gotta go pull off that 10,000-pound machine wing right there, real quick. Give me a second. I'll tell you, my first earliest memory of Lou was like I tell you, I'd be lying if I told you I could remember the '88 title. I'd be a liar. Yeah. But the first memory I have of him is Jerry Van Dyke saying, well, Lou Holtz on Coach. Remember there's an episode on Coach who says Lou Holtz is Lou Holtz, and he goes, "Hey, I tell you, Hayden Fox is Hayden Fox." You know what I mean? And the recruiting.
Dude, hey, what? Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
Coach is one of the most underrated shows of all time. If anybody's too young, there was a sitcom just about a college football coach. It was awesome.
Yeah.
With Dauber. I love that show, man.
Yeah, if you guys remember, like, hey, your main man's not just a Catholic convict that roots for Notre Dame. He's kind of a nerd himself. You know what I mean? Fun fact for you guys. But he says Hayden Fox, but well, Lou Holtz is Lou Holtz. I think he had been coming off that national title win. And then I remember arguing with one of my buddies that I took his spot as a running back. Jimmy was cool. Jimmy Kayola. Okay, he goes, Lou Holtz in Notre Dame's overrated. That's why he left. That's why he's at South Carolina. That's why he thought he was going to get the Minnesota coaching job. And I said, shut the F up, Jimmy. You don't know shit. Okay, you're just a Mormon. You know what I mean? And so anyways, bro, man, so sad, but he embodied, thank God for a man like that came in, bro. Not just created better athletes, but better men. At our motto, that was our motto that we coached, man. And man, may God rest his soul. Nothing happens for out of coincidence. Everything, God has a plan for us all, man. He really does. Regardless of anything, you know, what your skin color, what society you're born into, financially, whatever you lean on the other bullshit that's going on in the world, man. You know, he really embraced the spirit of Notre Dame and the unity of those that came before him, and I am so grateful that Marcus is the same way, man. And that he actually would reach out to the last great legend of a coach, you know, in Lou Holtz, and you know, and you guys have heard me say this over and over and over and over. College football owes Notre Dame such a debt of gratitude. You know what I mean? You're welcome, Wisconsin, for your 3 Rose Bowls with Barry Alvarez and having, you know, Lou Holtz there, and then you're welcome. You're welcome, LSU with Les Miles. You're welcome, Utah, Florida, and Ohio State with Urban Meyer, man. You know what I mean? And those are all Lou disciples, and you know, I was just really, you know, happy and sad day, but you know that he's celebrating. He can't feel no more pain, brother. But he embodies everything Notre Dame is, man. And so, you know, are you in a hurry? Okay, I'll get you right now, bro. And just man, love. Okay, bro, I'll get you right now. And I just wanted to tell you, man, love the fan base, man. Love what he did. A lot of household names. I know Jerome Bettis and Ricky Waters are probably the most. Here, hold on one sec. Are you there? Or are you there? Hold on. But Autry Denson to me is always my all-time favorite Notre Dame running back, man. And he's the one I grew up with in high school. And Lou made it a point to recruit amazing players like that and teach them to be better, man. You know what I mean? So, what do you need? Hold on, John. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, I got it. All right, brother. Hey, man, I love you, doggy. I gotta go. I gotta push this crew, brother.
Get after it, man.
I gotta go and load that. They're 40 feet in the air. I gotta do that, man. But hey, love you. Love the chat. Shout out to a lot of people, man. You know, John. One thing I appreciate about your show, it embodied what your show, what Lou and Notre Dame is, man. I've met a lot of amazing people that I became friends with that helped me get through the day. Um, Kevin's one of them. Liam, Sly Fox, Luis, everybody, man. Pat, you know, we all disagree like brothers and fight like brothers, but at the end of the day, man, the spirit of Notre Dame, man, unites us all. Onward, Notre Dame. God bless Lou and his family, and may he rest in peace. See you, buddy.
Have a good one, Renee. Take care, buddy. Man, I'm telling you, Luis and Renee are on it today, man. Building the world on a Friday. Look at this. Jeez. Man, I love those guys. Calling even when they're busy. Mangoes, what's going on? This is going to be the first non-Notre Dame specific tribute to Lou. Let's see what you got.
Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you rule over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I kept the faith. In my Father's house are many rooms. I go to prepare a place for you. That's where I am. There you may be also. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. He will receive the crown of life. Returning to the Father's house. Yea, let us, children of the Lord, rejoice that our brother in Christ has joined our Holy Father in the kingdom of heaven. The book of life, behold, the name Lou Holtz. Christ Jesus smile on those who return into his domain and with our Father. Yea, let us all things be just and righteous unto the Lord. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted, and all things for good and just with the Lord. Amen. God bless Lou Holtz. God bless his family. God bless Notre Dame. God bless Always Irish. And God bless everybody here in the chat that is sharing this moment on this specific day. That is all I have to say. Everyone stay safe, be careful, and I wish good health among you guys. Peace be with you. I'll see you next time.
Hey, thank you very much, Mangoes. Man, that's classy. Coming from a non-Notre Dame guy, he's got it down. Dropping homilies like you wouldn't believe. Dropping homilies like anomalies. Oh, JT, what's going on, buddy? Good morning, dude.
Good morning, John. Today is this whole week was a very somber week. As you can probably imagine, I had a funeral to go to last week, of course. And then when I heard about, honestly, when I heard about the death of Coach Holtz on Wednesday, it took a minute for me to sort of process what had happened. And then I thought, okay, I needed to basically just take a moment and pray for him. And then I decided to put the basketball game on that night. Basketball played against Stanford in South Bend. You wouldn't have known that Coach Holtz had died. The basketball team didn't even have black armbands on for him.
Oh, hey, by the way, JT, that's another thing. You got to get a Lou patch. They've got to honor Lou on these uniforms. It's either got to be at the top center of the helmet with the Lou or a little patch. I'm certain Notre Dame is working on this, but you have got to add a Lou feature to the jerseys in 26 for sure.
Absolutely. And I think a patch for him would be very appropriate. Anyway, Lou Holtz, I will remember Coach Holtz as not only being a great football coach and a pundit on College Football Final, always standing up for us. I'll remember him as the man who, even though he had this reputation of being a made man, the made man on campus, and a great football coach, he would, even in retirement, stick his neck out on the line. And when the university would stray a little bit from its mission, he would call the university out. He didn't care about the social consequences or the political consequences. When he felt the university was doing something wrong, he'd call him out on it, on live television, whatever platform he could get his hands on.
Yep.
That is the Coach Holtz that I will remember moving forward.
JT, you're so right, dude. He always had Notre Dame's back. He always had Notre Dame's back, no matter what. You always knew you could count on Lou to defend Notre Dame's honor.
Yes, it was like no matter anything else, I knew that Coach Holtz was praying for all of his, not just his players, but the players that came after him and the coaches that came after him. Whether they be somebody that wouldn't even return Holtz's calls like Brian Kelly, or someone like Marcus Freeman who would make time to visit him.
Yep.
It's, I'm so, I'm still trying to process the fact that Coach Holtz will not see us win a national championship.
Yeah, I've been struggling with it too, man. In an ideal world, Lou would be around to talk, hand the torch, pass it over to Marcus, and enjoy that moment with the Notre Dame family. That's not in the cards. That's not going to happen. God's called him home. All you could do now is win in his honor. That is the next best thing. That's all you could do. Win it in his honor.
And that is all that we can do as a football family. I know this is not as important, but the men's basketball team lost against Stanford. They looked listless. And there is a chance, a very good chance, that they don't even make the ACC tournament. The fact that the 8th most winningest basketball program in history ain't even making their conference tournament is a shambles. beyond
No,
belief.
wait a second. I'm not a basketball guy. I thought every team gets to make the conference tournament because you're in the conference. Is that not the case?
That is not the case with the ACC this year.
Dude, how embarrassing.
And 3 teams miss out because
You're in the conference tournament. You can't even make the conference tournament.
it's like, yeah, and like the reason I think is the television contract didn't get adjusted. The tournament layout didn't get adjusted when the West Coast schools at SMU came into the conference.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. God, that's embarrassing. It's too bad Lou couldn't give the basketball team any motivational speeches because they need one.
Hey, Mark, I got you, man. If you actually want to start that podcast, I got you.
There you go. Get after it. Yeah, you got to get after it. JT, anything else on your mind, bro?
Just that I would like to remind everybody that, yes, it's a Friday in Lent, so go to your Knights of Columbus fish fry or have some Popeye shrimp, whatever seafood you want, and just offer up a rosary today for Coach Holtz's soul and for the continued health and safety of all of our legends from that 88 team, that they can be here in South Bend in 2027 for that championship parade.
I like it, JT.
In his honor.
That is very, very well thought out stuff, JT. Love you, buddy. Have a good weekend, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Johnny.
Take care, bro. Have a good one. Man, JT comes with that fire. He comes with that fire, that's for sure. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got stuff to do. I got a puppy that needs stuff I got to do upstairs. Busy day. I just wanted to, I'm glad we did this. I wanted to pop in, let people have a few words. This can go into Monday, by the way. This could go Monday, by the way. So we'll rejoin Monday. And if anybody has any thoughts or anything, Kent, you're late, right? When I'm finishing up early. That's bad timing. But thank you for the kind words there, Kent. And a few different non-Notre Dame people have come in here and been respectful about Lou's legacy and that understand what this meant to the Notre Dame community. So I'm glad we did this. We'll have a chance on Monday. And then obviously we're going to have Raw Monday night. And Goolsby's got a lot of personal experience with Lou, being in a locker room with Lou in the Japan Bowl, one of his last captains. There's a lot there with Mike that I want to touch on with Lou as well. But thank you guys for joining. Thanks for the kind words about Lou. Thanks for the donations. You guys are great. Keep looking for the articles and videos about Lou. I got some more coming. You guys are awesome. Have a good Notre Dame weekend. God love Lou Holtz. God bless him. You guys take care. Thanks for being here.